to our regular meeting of council in person and live stream electronically, Tuesday, May 21st. Yeah. I want to start by acknowledging that it is Public Works Week, May 19th to 25th. I want to acknowledge our Public Works crew and the great job that they do year round. Thank you. So our land acknowledgement. The council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that the sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We have a moment of silence. Thank you. So moved by Councillor Abbas and seconded by Councillor Crabtree that the regular meeting of council agenda dated May 21st, 2024 be approved as amended this date to move items 8A, B, C, and D from information to action. All in favor? Carried. Any disclosure of interest now or at any time during our meeting? So moved by Councillor Crabtree and seconded by Councillor Johnson that the minutes of the previous meeting dated May 7th, 2024 be approved as presented. All in favor? Carried. Any business arising from our previous meeting? Okay. So our first delegation is Matt Derbyshire.
I'm Matt Derbyshire. We're hoping to bring a drift track rack to Montague Smith Falls area. I just need to say that stage. So am I just explaining myself?
Yeah, basically just what you're looking for.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what we're looking to do is we want to have the township hopefully help us to find a place that we could put a track that would not bother any surrounding neighbors, businesses, anything like that. We have the means, the equipment, we have everything we need to build the track, but we don't want to go purchase property and then be shut down within as soon as we start. Because there's going to be noise. Part of the regulations that we put forward for some of the racers that would be joining. All cars must be below 100 decibels, and there'll be barriers put in place. There will be all the safety measures required, ample runoffs for the track. Well, we've already looked into all the different event insurances. We have 3 venues that will put on their events at our track. They would start this year, but there's no way we get it in time. But for 2025, there will be 10 events that we put on immediately over the course of the year. Our overall goal would be to have something for people to do around here. I'm born and raised in the Smith Falls area. We never had anything really to do. And something like this, when I was a kid, we had a track across the street. It was a horse racing track. I drove my go-kart around that thing constantly, and it was the highlight of my childhood. And then that was sold off to the communications company or something along those lines. So to bring something like this back, there's a pretty large following around here that are interested. We also have, with the events that we can put on, it will bring a lot of people through the town. Not without the hotel side of things, but as far as local businesses, shops, other local clubs and things that we could get involved in something like this, it would. Sorry, I'm really nervous. It would make the least for something for our youth to get excited about. I have a 17-year-old son. It was everything just to get him through high school. It's very difficult with just how it is these days. My daughter's coming up. It would be nice to have more push-up for the. On that note, one of the things we would do throughout the next, not next year, the following years to come, we'll be trying to have a go-kart track to approach some of the other local go-karting outfits that were happening, try and bring them to our track. And then also would be for a drag strip in as well.
We have questions?
You're done.
I guess, so, yeah, kind of jumped all over. I didn't really know where I was going with this.
Yeah.
So how big would the track be?
So we're kind of looking to 20 to 30 acres is what we would need for property. A drift track is significantly smaller than what you would see in traditional tracks. It's not high speed racing. It's the high RPM, spinning tires, kind of trying to control the car as it's losing control, and then bringing that back around to the next corner, and then you get rated on the point system based off of your performance in that.
And it's obviously a dirt track. right?
No, this would be a paved track.
Paved?
Yeah. Paved track for the, we do a paved drift track. And in the way the track would be designed, it would be able to merge off on other points to allow different configurations, especially if we go into go-karting in the future, things like that. The goal would be to put a separate track for go-karting to try and encourage maybe like a local, like a rental type to create revenue for the business. Just with the amount of people that are showing up to the events that are happening, with like the Dark Horse events, the Top Drift events, like just even selling water and hot dogs, and it's unbelievable the amount of money that could be made in this space, as well as just creating. This is what we do here in Smiths Falls. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot going on as far as we're building for the future. Just make more people know what's down here.
I used to go to go-karting when I lived in Vancouver. Kids in the neighborhood and that, and it was food trucks, all kinds of stuff. It's the weekends for truck football.
It seems to be, this has become very big over the past, say, 10 years for the drifting side of things. Then when the movie Gran Turismo came out, it opened up a lot of eyes as to how you could get into this. I myself bought a racing simulator at the start of the pandemic just to kind of keep my head straight, and it's what brought us here. I've kind of partnered up with a friend of mine who's been racing since he was a child, like late early teens. He started racing at Capital City Raceway, and then he's just progressively gotten very, very, really good at this, and he's kind of sought off here in the drifting community. So yes, that's why he has such a big venue that's willing to bring it to our track specifically for him.
So what type of noise levels are they expecting? Because this is the question that everybody's going to ask. It's always great in theory. So you're talking about 10 events, so that's 10 weekends, give or take.
Yeah, that would be a minimum just for.
And then you're talking about, you're gonna obviously have people that are gonna be doing their practice runs on the off weekends and everything else. So that being said, I guess the best question would be, what would be the radius that would be able to hear? Because that's one of the questions that we know we're gonna get asked, is if cars running, people are used to hearing.
Mhm.
Screeching tires is different.
Yeah,
And with drift racing, that's what it is. A lot of screeching tires. I mean, whenever you hear somebody rip at a stop sign down the road, you hear it. So the question everybody's going to ask us is, even if we are able to find you someone who's willing to sell that piece of property, sorry, this is what type of distance is the sound of the screaming tires going to, and what are you planning on putting in place that will limit that or control that?
so as far as the distance, it's gonna be about the same as a port. So an operational port, that's kind of the decibel we're gonna have on the normal. As far as sound dampening, we can do concrete barriers. One of the things when my business started, he has an asphalt company, but he also just opened a concrete company. So we can build whatever we need that way if we need to build it. Like dirt barriers with concrete on top of them. We'll do what we have to do at this At this point, we just want to have the track and we want to get this going because we do know it's going to be it'll be great in the future. It will definitely do what we think it's going to do. But it is going to come down to making sure we are on the right location because it's definitely going to.
That's what we're trying to figure out, because that's one of the questions that anybody's gonna, even, we thought it's a wonderful idea. They're gonna say, okay, well, I live 2 miles from them. How are you going to prevent, how are you gonna limit, how are you going to, so that's one of the questions. If this is something.
Whatever's necessary, yes, would be the way I would answer, whatever we have to do to keep the sound down. That's why we wanted to go about it this way, is like maybe you guys could help us locate something that was far enough off the beaten path that there wasn't any developing housing or businesses around that would be less likely to push back on us for doing this. And then once we were there, then it's kind of like there's a racetrack here. You have to know that if you're going to build an area, and then also have that in the back of your head with land sales for the future.
Yeah, I think Gerald made a big thing. A lot of it is unfortunately like not really up to us per se. Like it's you have to find the land that you're and then see, and then there's gonna be a lot of public consultation too as well.
Okay.
As it goes through that process to see if that those people that are close by, how they feel about it and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of opposition to that too as well. There's gonna be a change in zoning and all that kind of stuff. There's supposed to be public things that like a lot of that sort of with that. So right now you don't have like lots of a spot.
We didn't go that far with this because I assume we'll get shut down if we don't do this the right way from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, being open and transparent and engaged or something like this is probably like I agree with you, will be your best avenue.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't recommend like what land to buy or any of that. I mean, that's the, like it's that's something that we want to bring that to us. So to say.
So we're kind of going back.
You're it's good. I mean, this is I think it's a really good idea personally. But I think the biggest part would be is seeing what land is actually available, which you can find, and then trying to see it, where you can go. So it's not really a lot of advice you can get. It's like and then working and then trying to work with the public. But I think I like the way you're not doing this because you kind of get the experience. It's great.
So I don't think it's going back. So I think now you put it out in the public by coming to council and there may be some people that see this and have 2 or 3 acres somewhere and go, yeah, it's surrounded by bush and that kind of thing you could plop in the middle. I think for me, so it's going to be something similar to Calabogie then, other than I don't think they do drifting all the time, but that type of scenario.
Yeah.
So are you thinking of it's going to be daytime operation or night?
It would be daytime and I would say probably evening.
Evening? Okay.
Maybe we could probably work that some kind of way where we didn't do certain evenings or certain on the weekends or however we would, whatever, like I said, whatever we have to do.
Yeah, and that's something similar to Calabogie, like they do the township does sound monitoring, and if they go over that penalty and all these types of things. So I think that it's great that you're coming forward because there are definitely avenues.
Okay.
And I would recommend even reaching out to some of them to see the process.
Okay.
Are you looking for camping on site similar to Rockville?
I was thinking that because if we don't really have any facilities for people to stay here, so if we're going to have 500 or 1,000 people coming for a weekend event, they would need to see it out. They're going to have to drive to Perth or Ottawa, and then we would lose the whole point of them coming for the town.
Those are kind of my questions. Well, I can also send you information on the township.
Appreciate that.
So would it be nothing to advertise?
I don't know, social media is a good way to try and get it out there.
Now that we've done this, kind of put it out on social media that what we're looking for and kind of the plan and to the world.
Because we don't, for our meetings, we have sometimes 34 people watching. So this is one avenue that it's going to get out to some residents and maybe filter through some others. But getting it out through social media would be another option.
Okay. We can definitely do that, yeah,
Because that's it.
absolutely, we can definitely do that.
The township itself. does.
I just didn't want to, go and do that before even speaking to you guys and just making sure that this was something that we actually, we were involved with, that we could possibly do.
Depending on what's plan, the purchase, we can come and speak to the person, the planner to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We're not scary. No.
No, I could start going all day long thinking about this. Never done this before. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
No way. Next, we'll move to our report on sponsors. Krista?
This is just finishing off the Hunt Road closing. I don't think this is coming to council several times. This is just getting it at this point.
Sorry. Sorry. Speak first, but I guess I just have to read it. You don't want me to speak?
They don't want you to.
Unless you want to.
Unless you got to.
No, we can-
I mean, it's been going since 2019, so it
Yeah.
is nice to.
Let's finish this off. It's great.
So moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Deputy Reed Darrell, that council direct staff to bring forth the bylaw deeming lot 32 on plan PL 80 to not be a lot on a plan of subdivision to May 21st, 2024 council meeting as per the draft bylaw presented this date. All in favor? Great. Next is our public works manager for virtual road culvert. Yeah.
Go on now.
That's you, Ian. I'm like,
Oh. Yeah, you guys also report on your. Okay, so. First, presentation to council, so. Do I read through the options? Or sorry, read through the recommendation?
yeah, so just give council kind of an overview for the public.
So, on Friday of. Friday 20, or sorry, May 10th, we received notification that there was a sinkhole opening up in Burchell Road. So we wanted to repair the sinkhole Friday, and then we went to inspect on the following Monday morning, and we came away with the culvert has perforations through the center. It's 50 years old now. It's starting to rot along the center, and the backfill in that area is just pure sand, so it's all washing into the culvert, and that's where the sinkhole is opening up. And I guess that's probably the second or third time that there's been a sinkhole at the culvert. It's a really big corrugated steel pipe arch. So it's 3,600 millimeters by 2,500 millimeters. So it's 13 feet wide by 8 feet tall. So it's too big for us to replace in-house. So it needs to be replaced this year. It was inspected 2 years ago, and they said that it probably had 4 to 6 years left in it, which it looks like it's probably due for replacement this year. So yeah, with the size of the culvert, it is a structural culvert, so it does get biannual inspections. So that inspection done in 2022 was the most recent one. So it would have been due to be inspected this year, but obviously not gonna happen. So there are some in one of the attachments are the OSIM inspection for that culvert at the back of the report. So with the culvert to be replaced, 3 options that I came up with is to one, replace it with a culvert that's basically the exact same the pipe arch. 2, to replace it with a concrete box culvert, which would be same or greater area, so it would handle the same amount of water. It would be probably more expensive than the corrugated steel, but it would allow for a lot longer service life. And then option 3 would require an engineering analysis to see if the the amount of water will allow for a smaller culvert, which we could line that culvert with and then fill in the area between the two. But there's a chance that might not work at all, so we get the engineering done, they say you can't do it. So. Um. Yeah, so the 2022 OSIM report for that culvert.
Oh, yeah, we got it handled. We can go back to the meeting.
So the 2022 OSIM report for that culvert, the engineering company that did it said that a like-for-like replacement would be about $140,000. So what I would recommend we do is have the purchase of the culvert be separate from the installation, and then we can purchase the culvert ourselves, save money on that, and then just contract somebody to install it. And that way we can just get prices for either the steel or concrete. And then after we decide on the pricing, then we can move forward with whatever option.
I was just curious, you say then we could get someone to put in, is there 2 or 3 firms that can put that in?
Yeah.
Is there only one?
No, I think any reasonable contractor would be able to do it. Like, we just had a pretty similar size culvert down in Planner County, and Arts installed it. And we got prices from the contractors with provisional items for steel or concrete. And then we got prices for the culverts themselves, and then decided which way to go.
That's a good idea.
Carol?
So we're reading for the options. Option 1 was go the same size, similar to what it is.
Mhm.
Option 2 was to be replaced with a precast concrete box culvert. So my question to you is, they're give or take, right now they're estimated at 140.
Yeah.
140 based on the current one, that gave us 54 years.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
How much more is the box culvert gonna cost? Give or take. And if you don't have that numbers, this can always be something you figure out. It's just one of those questions I'm gonna ask. Number 2, how much more of a lifespan is it gonna give you than the 54 years?
It could be twice as much. It could be up to like 100 years for concrete pipe. It depends on what the chemistry is like and seas and things like that. The one at the county that we just did, it was almost exactly the same size, and the concrete pipe was $15,000 more than the steel pipe. So it wasn't a huge amount more, but the installation was a little bit more as well, just because it's more complicated and you have to get a crane. So you have just a little bit more involved.
I think it would just really, and it's me just frugal but smart, it would really just depend on what the numbers are. If you're saying it's $15,000 more plus installation, that's nothing for an extra 46 years. It would just dollars and donuts.
Chair through you. So I think what we'd be looking for is option 2, to move forward, but with staff would be getting pricing for the steel and the concrete, and we'll bring something back to council as far as long as that culvert stays in the condition that it's in right now.
Yeah.
And we'll bring something back to advise on if the concrete culvert's only 10 or 20% more than the steel, and then you guys can make that decision. I think it's just that we want to go ahead and move forward, and we would like to be able to get pricing for the concrete, because if there's not a big difference, depending on the price of steel culverts right now, compared to last year, the year before. So the recommended option is 2, but we want to get pricing on both and bring it back to council to make that final decision. As I said, as long as that culvert stays in current condition. Just because in the event that the concrete is not substantially more, it is going to be obviously a lot longer service life. And then it'd be similar to our Richardson one, and it would allow for any kind of growth and things like that if that area.
So did you say Richardson, when they did that last summer, it's a concrete one or is it?
Yeah.
It's concrete?
Yeah, two side by side. Overall, the size of the culvert is bigger, but 2 smaller culverts. It's not pretty.
They changed 4 steel over to 2
Yeah.
of the concrete in 2022.
Okay.
There's a bigger hole there.
Yeah.
You basically nailed exactly what I was alluding to.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah, that is the plan. We just we're hoping it stays in the condition that it is, or else we'll be having a special meeting and
Yeah, we'll just bring it
quite
back.
quicker.
We'll bring
Yeah.
it back.
One other thing to note, I guess, is that even if, like, we'd have to wait probably until July 1st to start working on it anyway, so we do have a bit of time to get some pricing back. Can't start with any waterworks unless it's an emergency until,
Still pretty wet.
yeah.
See the culvert.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of strange, like usually when culverts start rotting like that, it's the ends that start. And that one is right in the middle, so I don't know if it faded. Over the years, and that caused. Yeah. But it seems to work.
Perfect, we're going with plow drivers.
For the middle. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carroll and seconded by Councillor Abbas, that council approve the Workford Road culvert replacement option 2 as amended to include pricing for both steel and concrete. And that the financial cost be placed in the 2024 public works budget. And that council approve the use of the public works reserves in the event there is not sufficient 2024 surplus to fund the essential replacement. All in favor? Carried. So moved by Councillor Abbas, seconded by Councillor Crabtree. The council approved the minutes of the committee of the whole meeting of May 7th, 2024, and approved recommendations contained within. All in favor? Petition, so bylaw, moved by Councillor Crabtree, seconded by Councillor Johnson. That bylaw 4069-2024, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 3770-2020, to authorize the signing of a contract extension between the Corporation of the Township of Montague and Glenview Iron and Metal for provision of municipal waste collection and disposal to May 31st, 2030. Be read a first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed this 21st day of May 2024. All in favor? That's carried. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Carroll, that bylaw 4070-2024, being a bylaw to regulate use of lands and the character, location, and use of buildings and structures in the Township of Montague, be read for second, third time, signed and sealed this 21st day of May 2024. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carroll, seconded by Councillor Abbas, that bylaw 4071-2024, being a bylaw to deem registered plans not registered, be read a first, second, and third time and passed, signed, and sealed this 21st day of May 2024. All in favor? Carried. We have no motion. Action items A. Jeff.
Me?
Yep.
This is really nice to get the thank you. Club. It's been really good, last couple of years, especially I think with the relationship, and it's been really, really positive, and it's been great seeing the events that's going on there, and also the collaboration with the township and everything else. And it's nice to see the cohesiveness really overall. So I really appreciate that's great. Tom, thank you for thank you for the thank you. That'd be fantastic. That's really good. So I'd say
I snuck in yesterday. They got the taste test. Cheering tart because they were doing some baking fundraisers they're doing. Snuck in. I don't bake, but I offer to help them with dishes and stuff like that. And taste test. So the next one, Jeff, is.
yeah. So I mean, I was there for the new opening 44 Chambers Street, which is one of our big ones for Letner County for the community housing, and beautiful place, beautiful apartments. Nice to see the minister from the feds there talking about it, along with like John Jordan and the warden and the mayor. And everything else. It's really nice to see that open. It's pretty well almost full right now, which is great. So people have homes, and yeah, it's a beautiful spot and a really good for the county. So.
You on the media release?
Media release, I think everybody read the media release, but I think the top one is the big one, is the workforce attraction. This is the one that we started last year, and really the nuts and bolts of it is to try to attract like medical professionals and going out. And we hired a company to do this, to go into the big cities and everything else, to try to advertise people to come to sort of sell those professionals to come and why not live in Lanark and Montego, and have your health practice and have all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a big thing of trying to find ways to recruit the positions that we need so desperately in our area. That there's actions trying to be done that we're trying to find ways to make that happen. So. And then the last one is the water testing thing, which is a little scary if they want to cancel this. I know for myself, I test my water a few times a year because it just gives my peace of mind. I like to think I think if anything, we should be educating the public more about it because I think if you speak to a lot of our residents, they don't, especially maybe some of the newer ones. They don't realize that that's a service that you want to test your well. And you want to make sure that you're making sure your water's like good because there's no Mr. Greer tests water every week in Toronto to make sure that water is up to spec. That's like every single week every day he's out there. So like they make sure that we're doing it ourselves. Anyways, I don't know if we should have a resolution. I don't know if we had thrown that out there, but it's one that I would like to think that we want to support to make sure that we're not stopping that service.
Yeah, I did sit in on something that was put on by RBCA actually in relation to drinking water and things like that. And there was discussion that they're closing some of the locations that do it. I haven't heard about it entirely. I think they are downsizing. We do actually have on our tax insert for August a little thing about people testing their water, and that just a reminder because you're right, some people actually don't know. So we've included that to try and get that information up there as well, and maybe not even just for E. coli, but some other forms of metals and things like that, in case they're worried. So it's up to council whether you'd like to provide support to the MVCA, but we haven't received this yet.
We have they would be on it first, right? So
Yeah.
And we have representatives from like that be all over that. We don't necessarily need to support because that'd be all over representatives. But I just want to make sure we're aware of it. So like if that brings up to anybody, and also make sure that we're educating the public too as well. So I don't really need to make a resolution, but there's more. Yeah.
So we'll watch.
Yeah.
I receive it.
Thank you.
So unfinished business, other business, nothing. So yep, we'll do questions before we recess. Any questions from the audience?
Not a question, a comment on your Montego District seniors. We want to present you on with them with appreciation for the township working with the seniors so much.
Thanks, Tom. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you, Trevor.
Still like
Yeah, me too. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, still on my.
you're not allowed to take my penny.
Any questions online? Okay. So moved by Councillor Crabtree and second by Councillor Johnson. Council recess at 6:33 p.m. All in favor? That's it.
Whenever you're ready.
Welcome back to our committee of the whole. Time to get serious. So the opening of the meeting will be the land acknowledgement. Council and staff of the Township of Montague acknowledge that this sacred land on which the Township of Montague is now located and this meeting is being held is on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Nation. So our adoption, moved by Councilor Bass and seconded by Councilor Crabtree, that the committee of the whole agenda dated May 21st, 2024 be approved as presented. All in favor? So first up is Chief Greer. Assessment.
We're all ready to go. Thank you, Deputy Reeve Jennings, Council. So I bring you tonight the first of three that I have to report to you. The first one's a community risk assessment. This was mandated by the province to be completed by June of 2024. And as you'll see in the report, that we actually did get some quotes on this from 3 different companies. Highest one being 24,000, lowest being 14,000. So after we reviewed it, we decided that staff, along with the OFM-EM, who were providing templates how to do a community risk assessment, we figured that we had the ability to do this on our own. So we took it upon ourselves with the deputy clerk, the planner, everybody added into this. So what it is basically is we went into our HIRA from our emergency management. That gives us all our risks that we have in our community, how we would mitigate them if it comes to a big problem, a big event. So this, of course, was no cost to the community. We decided to do it as a group. And again, it's presented to Council Reeve, Deputy Reeve, for anything that you would like to add to this, if you wanted to add to it, and let Grace or myself know. This is a working document. Every year we check on it, we add to it, we remove. So again, it was legislated by the province for June of 2024. So we're presenting it to you today, and certainly open any questions from council.
Thanks, Boss. I'll open up to any questions from council at all.
One question, just a comment. It's great that did it in-house following a template and took everything you got from your emergency management already. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I certainly compliment, our staff members here. They jumped and played on it, and we did have a really good job. Just felt it was ridiculous amount of money for what we could do ourselves.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot for what that it is, and you guys do. We have the information, and it's a useful document. It really gives us a lot of really good information about the township and everything else. So I think it's a lot of interesting stuff in it. So yeah, well done by the staff. Thanks, Chief. So
Thank you, Chair Drew. So yeah, I want to commend staff also for taking this on, because to be honest, the community risk assessment is going to be best and most valuable by people who live in the community and deal with the events and the emergencies. And as the chief had said, this will be an annual update. So we're actually going to include it in with our emergency management type of updates and review it and have a look. So I think that great job by the chief and staff, and substantial savings to go towards the second report.
all right, so moved by Councilor Crabtree and seconded by Councilor Johnson that Council approve the draft risk assessment as presented in the state. So thanks, Miles, for saving us some money. Now you're going to spend some.
Yeah, my second report isn't quite as good.
Take it away.
Second report, Council, Reeve, Deputy Reeve. It's on the master fire plan that we actually budgeted for in 2024 of $25,000. Unfortunately, with COVID prices and whatnot, this master fire plan came in $12,457.86 over budget. Just to give you a bit of background history, the community risk assessment really sets all the bearings for the master fire plan. So with the risk assessment being done, now you can move into your fire plan. And the last master fire plan we had here was in 2004. So it is 20 years old, the master fire plan. We've seen a lot of growth in our community in 20 years. We've seen a lot of, trucks have got bigger, and the world itself has certainly changed. So I do truly feel that this is still well spent money to let us know, how's your fire department doing? Do you have enough trucks? Are they in the right areas? And this is what your master fire plan will bring you. Do you require maybe one more station further out in your community? And I'm not saying this is gonna happen, I'm just showing out what they look at in this master fire plan. Again, I don't want to lead council astray. A master fire plan is not legislated by the province, not like your community rescue system is. But I still feel that this will base us for the next 15 or 20 years on how our growth is going and where are we going to spend our money. It's one thing for me to stand up here and say, I think our community money is best spent here. But when you have a third party look at it, they say, maybe you could spend less here and more here, it might work better. So again, this is certainly for council's decision, whether we move with this. I am recommending that we move with using Lumix Group on this. They're the lowest bidders on this. And again, we could use surplus from 2024, but the other option is that council can wait and we can move that money that we set in 2024 to 2025 and add a bit to it in the 2025 budget. But I am recommending, believing we are probably going to have a surplus this year, a little bit to cover that. Ally's my money lady, if you want to step in.
Chair, through you, my recommendation for us is, as fine as Miles is saying, is we potentially could hold off. Council is going to be provided a substantial surplus at the next meeting from our auditors as well. But keeping in mind that 2026 year is an election year, so it would be nice to get this started, completed and finalized, because sometimes in that 2026 year, things get put on hold and left behind. So I think, as Miles stated, it is important. It's 20 years old. We do have, there's interest in development coming to Montague. And we have to be prepared for that and be ready on what should we even request from a subdivision of 50 new lots, 100 new lots? What should we be asking of that development potentially? Is it dry hydrants? Is it holding ponds? Those types of things. So I think this is important for us to move forward to get that kind of background so everybody's on the same page as well.
Any other questions from council? It's one of the things, did we not also budget for the community risk assessment in 2024?
So believing in 2024, when you got a master fire plan, the community risk assessment came with it. I thought that's how it worked.
So that was the budget.
Yeah.
So budget 25 was for both.
Yes, was for both. So when I did the research on it, the COVID-19 changed the whole numbers. But it was unfortunate that, it was just not.
Sounds good. I mean, I agree. I think it's something that obviously it's dated. We need to do it. So it's so yeah.
And again, these master fire plans, a lot of time to do, again, with staff members and myself. But I don't believe this will be probably finished by 2025. There's a lot that really goes into a master fire plan. And a lot comes out of it also. I think, we'll be in good shape once it's complete.
I'm sure our staff will be involved in it too as well.
So all major. And council.
They read the last one.
Ours here? Yeah, it was done in 2004. They changed a lot. Fire plans. And again, keeping in mind, it's a guideline. Says in it, because they're going to pick here and pick. And at the end of the day, I stand in front of you, we work together as a group and say, yeah, we think this is going to work, but maybe not. So again, council does not accept the master.
Perfect. Any other questions from council? So. So moved by Councilor Johnson, second by Reed Jennings, that council will proceed with option one as presented this day in relation to the national park. All in favor? Not done yet. Take it away with the antique park.
You don't see me for months and months now.
Make it worthwhile.
So the next one I bring to you, Council Deputy Reed, is for the antique fire truck that the Montague Township Association owns. Again, it's a bit of background history. It's a 1942 Ford antique fire truck. We have been putting association money into it to try and make it look nicer for parades and whatnot. So we went looking for insurance this year, and the truck is owned by the association, which means all the members basically in the truck. And insurance companies, for some reason, will not insure that truck now with an association owning it, with so many members owning it. They want us to put it in one person's name. And so we felt we had a couple options at that point. The two options were we put it in somebody's name with the association and do an agreement. But if that person left, then you know you gotta get it re-safety the truck. And so we talked to Ally, myself, and we come up with possibly putting this truck in the Montague Township's name and insuring it under the Montague Township policy, but with an agreement stating that, this truck is still owned by the association. Next council comes along, they want to sell this truck. No, the association has the right, to the final say of it. I'm sure you have all read the agreement. So, in a nutshell, basically what we were kind of asking if we could put in the township's name, go through the township insurance, but of course, Ally would invoice us once a year and we would pay the insurance through our association. Again, not 100% sure their insurance company will do that, but it was something that we were going to look into if council agreed.
Actually, are there any questions from council? I guess my question would be like, how's that different in township where we're basically.
We're a corporation. Yeah, so we're legal.
The legal corporation, that's the big difference.
Yeah, so and I did put in the agreement that it would be up to council on an annual basis, whether to give it as a donation to the association or whether to charge them. I honestly feel that this is gonna be a very minimal cost to us, to add to our already fleet. With it being an antique and really only used for parades as well. And also then from the liability perspective of each individual association member, they're all covered underneath the municipality anyways, if they're out doing fire functions. So it kind of makes sense to go this way, but to really make sure that the rightful ownership is in the association. And that's why we're bringing forward a draft agreement that would be attached to a bylaw.
I agree. I guess my only question would be is, there's other trucks like this in Ontario. Is there, how is it done by other?
So I tried to do a little bit of research on that and I couldn't find much. There is all kinds of antique trucks. But what I did find is about 30% that I checked out, which was only 2 or 3, were in the municipality's name. And I guess, I'm not sure how it ever happened back in the day of our association. That truck's been in here since I've been here for 30 years, and I'm assuming it's always been in the association's name. And the only reason that we lost our insurance was the company that provided it did no longer do antique trucks. So they called us up, said we don't do antique trucks anymore. And I guess it's changed over 30 years. Names.
That's it's good to hear as we go down that road. It sounds like we're agreeing for doing that. That works. So other municipalities already do that. So I think so it should be.
Yeah, I believe
so. That's really good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay.
Good job. You good? Yeah. We'll just finish.
Thank you very much.
See you in a couple.
With the Montague Fire Association provision of insurance on the antique fire truck. All in favor? That's good. Next one on the docket is the Integrity Commissioner report.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, through you. So our Integrity Commissioner report is very small because there was no complaints or activity in the 2023 year. This is just for council to accept that as information and we post it on our website.
Any questions on that council at all? I think, my opinion, I know, this is really, really good, like these and the Freedom of Information Act, everything else where. When the years past. Is, you know, when those things come down the pipe, it takes a lot of time away from like, say, like Ali being able to do all the things that we do, so. As we continue to move forward. We are. But we continue to deal like this. I think A is gonna keep this very short. And also, not use up time that takes away Ali and his staff from the important tasks that they're doing. So this is really good that we're, let's continue staying the way that we, so. Any questions? Being none, so moved by Councilor Bass, second by Councilor Crabtree. The council accepts the 2023 annual integrity commission report as information, and the council directs staff to place a report on the municipal website. All in favor? Next, I'm assuming you're taking the building report real quick.
Yep, sure. Thank you, Chair. So this is the building quarterly report from the last meeting. Here it is this evening. Builds were, I guess, low, up still from previous couple years, but they have been picking up lately. And I think all building departments are kind of seeing the same uptake. So not much to really discuss yet this year.
It's a good start to the year, though. We can see it's been busy, so it's good. Questions from council? He's looking good there. So moved by Councilor Crabtree and seconded by Councilor Johnson. The council accepts the first quarter building report presented to state as information. All in favor? Next, the docket. We seem to like to bring back cooler bills. So, but this one's kind of exciting. So you can take that away.
Chair through you, yes, we love septic here in Montague. So this is a great news story. We, council in 2022 was notified that the health unit was no longer responsible for septics. We moved forward to taking the septics on in-house as opposed to contracting a conservation authority. At that time, we did appoint Tracy Nolan. And council had approved for us to start doing some internal training and a posting for an internal septic inspector. At that time, there were 2 internal candidates that have started courses but not completed. Late of last year, Mr. Jordan Hamill provided notice that he wanted to become certified. And he has already completed both courses and is a fully certified septic inspector for us for an internal position as well. This is basically in front of council this evening for information, but also to commend Jordan, because not only is he on Public Works Fire, he's now also a septic inspector for the municipality. So kudos to him and the work that he's put in. Yeah.
It's great that we have the sort of the internal training and everything else too as well. We talked about that and we've seen it with some of our fire guys doing the snowplow stuff. Jordan stepping up and taking on other things too as well. It's just great to see that from our great staff and volunteer. So.
Sorry, Chair, through you. Also, though, thank you for council for allowing that internal training and that succession planning, because you never know, in the near future, maybe Mr. Hamill will work towards the CDO.
Any questions from you? On that note of good prying from the manager, moved by Councilor Johnson and seconded by Jennings, that council accepts the report of Jordan Hamill being certified inspector of septic systems for the township of Montague as information. Does Jordan want to give a speech at all? Or
I think you do a great speech.
That takes us to the end. We have no reports, petitions, motions, no motions, unfinished business. Before I adjourn, any burning questions from the audience? Online world?
No.
Some space, nowhere, sounds good. So moved by Reeve Jennings and seconded by Councilor Bass. Committee of the whole meeting for May 21st, 2024 now be adjourned at 6:57 p.m. All in favor? And that's carried. Thanks, everyone.
So we're resuming our meeting, so moved by Councillor Johnson and seconded by Deputy Carroll, that council resume the May 21st, 2024 meeting at 7:01 PM. All in favor? Carried. So moved by Deputy Carroll, and seconded by Councillor Abbas, that council moves into closed session at 7:01 PM. As per section 2392 of the Municipal Act FO 2001, in order to address three items. One is the County of Lanark Township 19. The second is the performance appraisal of the administrative treasurer. Third is the Highway 43 severance livestock facility update. More specifically, 2392A, a meeting, the part of a meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered is the security of the property of the municipality or local board. 2392B, a meeting, the part of a meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered is personal matters of an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. 2392B, a meeting, the part of a meeting may be closed to the public if the subject matter being considered is litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. And that Kevin Wills and Douglas Finley from the County of Lanark remain in the room, item 1. And that the clerk administrator treasurer remain in the room,